Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today in this video I'm going to talk about burnout, about depression, about anxiety, and this video is based on my experience only. I've had all of those states in my life, so I want to share with you my experience, what I learned, what helped me to get out of those states, and I want to share my story with you. And let's start it. I can clearly remember two moments and times in my life when I felt so miserable, I felt so depressed, and one, it happened back in 2019. It was in May, at the end of May, in July of 2019. I felt so depressed, and I'm gonna share more in depth and in detail of the story. And another one is actually, it happened pretty recently. It happened just at the beginning of the fall in September 2021, but it was more about the burnout. And if we talk about the difference between feeling burned out and depressed, there is actually a difference. So burnout is usually thought as of something that happens professionally, or it caused by work stress. So the key word here is work, and we have work stress. But the way you feel can be actually very close and similar to depression, but it's just the key factor why you feel like that is because of your work. Depression, on the other side, it includes mental and physical changes. So when you're in a state of depression, your body cannot function properly, or you have problems in the way your body functions. So you have problems with your sleep, with your appetite, with your energy level. And when you're feeling depressed, you don't get pleasure from anything. You don't enjoy your life at all. Like, you, even the things that would, like in a normal life, would make you happy, they cannot. And for example, if we take the burnout as like the main key factor why we feel like that is work, and the state of depression, and let's say we decided to go to vacation. We go to the beach, we go to the ocean, we have a wonderful time there. For burnout, sometimes it's just enough to get some time off, like just maybe get rid of the work, get rid of the job, change the environment, take some time off, and you go to vacation and you enjoy time there and you feel happy, you enjoy the sea, you enjoy the beach, you enjoy the ocean. But when you're feeling depressed, even all those things, you don't enjoy them. You don't get pleasure from anything. Even if somebody takes you to the beach, to the ocean, to the vacation, it doesn't matter to you. You still feel so miserable. You still don't enjoy those things. They don't make you happy. They're not as important to you, like, at all. So that's kind of the difference between feeling burned out and feeling depressed, because I think sometimes we misunderstand these two terms. But the thing with the burnout, that burnout can actually lead to depression. So if we continue being in this state, if we continue having the work stress, and in a long-term perspective, the feeling of the burnout can actually lead to the state of depression. That's why we need to listen to our body. If we start noticing the things, like as I've said earlier, when you start noticing that your body doesn't function properly, that you have problems with the sleep, you cannot eat well, maybe you don't eat at all, or you overeat, or when you suddenly stop having energy, you sleep and you don't have energy to do the things. So always listen to your body, and try to, when you already feel that you're in a stage of burnout, also pay attention to that. Maybe it's time, it's better sometimes just to take a couple of days off, or take a week off, and then get back to normal life, rather than continue working and continue living in this state, which can potentially lead to depression, as I said earlier. earlier. So now, as we are clear with the terms and we're clear with the difference between these terms, I want to go back to my story and my examples. So as I've said earlier, the first time when this happened, it was in 2019. And in 2019, I felt not burnout, I felt depressed. And I was in the state of depression. So what was happening to me? Every single day, the first thing I did in the morning when I would woke up, I was crying. I didn't go to the bus. I didn't have breakfast. The first thing, I would literally open my eyes and I would start crying. I used to live in the studio at that time, and we had a bed and we had a sofa. Sometimes I would just move from my bed to the sofa. I would start crying lying on my bed and then move to the sofa. It's just the first thing I was doing in the morning. And this state lasted for a long period of time. I was feeling like that probably for 2 weeks. And after the first week, I started feeling worried about myself and I actually asked for help. I called my mom, I talked to my mom, I said how I'm feeling, I said that I do need help and I want to get out of this, and I didn't feel happy in life. I just kind of, there is a light and suddenly somebody turned off this light in my life. And it's not about that something happened, one event happened. It was kind of a cumulative effect that at that time I was studying at university. I had too much on my plate, and end of the May, beginning of June, it was a new semester, it was summer. I felt a bit depressed and stressed about my school workload I had to do. Then also I had some problems in my family issues, and then I didn't enjoy anything in life. I felt so miserable. I felt I'm not doing anything. So when I was growing up, when I was a teenager in my high school in my home city, I used to do a lot of things. I was so active. I had so many interests. I was developing and growing, and that's kind of my pace. But at that time, I felt that I'm kind of stopped. I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not going up, and because it's kind of when you cannot fulfill your potential. That was kind of another thing. I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't enjoy doing anything. That's what I've just talked about, that when you're in a feeling of depressed, when you feel depressed and when you have a depression, you don't get pleasure from anything. And that was about me. I don't know, I even could get my favorite drinks or my favorite food, my favorite desserts. I like eating sweets. I would get them, but they won't make me happy. So the things that would usually make me happy, they didn't make me happy at all. And I literally remember that after a week of every single day crying, I said to my mom that I don't have happiness in my life. It's like everything is just black. As I said, somebody just turned off the light and that's it. It's like darkness. And the funny thing is that when I would meet with other people, I would meet with my friends, and one of my friends also had hard times at that time, and I would give my support to her. I would be so positive with her, and then I would go back home and I would just cry. So I didn't really share it with the people. I didn't want to show it to people. I didn't want other people to be affected by the way I feel, by the problems I have in my life. So only, I think, close friends, my partner, my boyfriend, and my family, after a week of me being in the state, knew knew about it. So that's why at that time I did ask for a help. I had some coaching sessions, I had a therapist, and maybe after months it got better. I worked a lot on my mindset, I worked a lot on other things which were happening in life, and after maybe in fall 2019 I started working with a psychologist, with a therapist, and I've been working with a therapist for 1 year, like for one straight year. I started in 2019 in fall and it ended in 2020 fall. And I was like, when I started, I started like I didn't have anything going at that time when I started, but I just knew that I had those hard times feeling depressed like 4 months ago, and I wanted to know and I wanted to understand why this happened. I wanted to work on all the fields of my life in order to avoid those things to happen again. So I'm kind of, if whatever comes in my life, I'm ready for everything. And it did happen, because in 2020 was the craziest year of my life. Lots of loss and pain in my family, but I think because I was working with a therapist at that time, it did help me not to get into the depression mode. Even the events were way more complicated, way more stressful, way more tragic. I didn't have this feeling of depression last year in 2020, and I think it happened because I had therapists in that time who was helping me to deal with all the problems and with all the situations I had in my life. If we talk about burnout, and I said that happened recently in 2021 in fall, September. And as I said, burnout is caused by your work stress. And it started happening, my birthday is in September, and I just recently turned, like a month ago, 24, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks before my birthday, I started feeling again very stressed about my life, that I'm already turning 24, and I haven't done that, and I haven't done that what I've planned. So it's not about that. I never like look on other people. I don't depend on other people. I don't tell like, oh, she has done that by her age, I'm like nothing. So it's not about that. It's not about other people. It was about me, that I set like goals for myself very high, like what I should have achieved by the age of 24, what should I already have, and I didn't. So like I put so many expectations and so many pressure on myself, and so I started feeling so depressed that I'm not in the right place in my life. I'm not doing the things I enjoy doing in my life. I go to work because the work is the primary factor. I work and do the things which I don't enjoy doing. That's not me. For example, I do marketing, digital marketing, and like I'm good at the digital marketing, but it's not me. I know how to do it. I've had a lot of experience in this field, but it's not what I want to do until the rest of my life. That's not what gives me energy. It's not what fulfills me inside. So that's why I started feeling depressed, because I wasn't getting pleasure from my work, and I had just too many things on my plate that I had to deal with. And because of this, because of work, primary factor, I think if I just like took maybe vacations or like 1 week or 2 weeks off, everything just could get back to normal. Because when it comes to the weekend, I'm enjoying my weekend, not because it's a weekend I can take some time off. No, I don't take time off on the weekend. On the weekend I do the things I love doing. For example, even recording this video, I do this on the weekend. I'm creating the content on the weekend. I do the things I enjoy doing and which gives me energy. And then we're back to Monday and we're back to work, which stress me out a lot. So what helps me in those situations, I always try to change my attitude towards the problem, because sometimes we are too focused on the negative things that we don't see the positive side of it. So I always change my attitude towards the problem, towards whatever is happening, what I can actually get outside of it, what am I learning, what is a positive outcome can I get. So sometimes we are too focused on one side and we don't see another side, we don't see the more like positive side of the things. So the first thing is that changing the attitude towards things, taking them a bit differently. So what can I actually get? This job gives me that, and actually there are lots of good things. Actually there are a lot of positive things. So changing your mindset, changing your attitude, it does help to be less negative in whatever is happening, stressed out and whatever is happening in your life. When we talk about burnout, so what can actually help is that exercising. So go exercise, change the activity, go to the gym, go for a walk, go outside. So actually go outside of your space, go outside of your home. Sometimes I can spend the whole day or 2 days just sitting at home without leaving my home because I work from home. It also sometimes a bit crazy. One of the reasons also when you become super tired because you always stay at home and you need a fresh air, just change the activity and go do the exercise. So if you want to do boxing, if you want to put all this energy outside, go and do this. If you are more the calm person and yoga works better for you, just go and do yoga, but do some sports and do exercising. Sleep is also important. I've been tracking my sleep with my Oura ring for year and a half, and I'm super into sleep, and I do struggle with the sleep. And it's also interesting when recently when my burnout happened, I did have problems with the sleep. I would sleep like normal 8 hours, and my quality of sleep would be great, as I do track my sleep. My quality would be great, but I would wake up at around 8 a.m., which is normal time for me, and at around 10, I would already feel that I want to sleep. I would take a nap at 10 a.m. like for 30 minutes, and then at 2 and 3, I would again feel that I don't have enough energy. So that's why please pay attention to your sleep. Don't underestimate your sleep. If you need to take the whole day off from work and from everything, just lying in your bed, just let yourself sometimes do nothing. Sleep and pay attention to your health and to your physical body as well. The next one can be meditations, because sometimes, as for example, for me, my mind and my thoughts can be all over the place. And as I do have a lot on my plate, a lot of things to figure out, don't stay connected with my true self, what I want to do, what are my feelings, what are my actual thoughts. And sometimes I'm getting lost with the amount of information I get. So meditating helps to reconnect with your true self. Just be with yourself, by yourself, and clear your mind, stay more calm. So meditations do help when you feel burnout. So at least you get some like 30 minutes off from your work, and you do need those breaks. So the next one may sound very obvious, but because burnout is the main factor is what? Work stress. So if you can get rid of this main factor, if you can change your workplace, if you can change your job, just go and do it. So it sounds easy, but I know for some people it's pretty hard. But if there is an opportunity to do that, if you feel not satisfied with your job, if you feel that majority of the stress comes from this job, and because of this job all other spheres of your life are getting destroyed, and so it's better probably maybe to change the job, think about other opportunities. So you can still stay at the job, but you can start searching for other job. So think about that. But of course the last thing is that go to a doctor, go to a professional, especially when we talk about depression. for depression, you do need help from this side. It's just, in majority of cases, it's just not possible to get out of this state by yourself. You do need help from others. I remember, as I said about myself, for the whole week I was declining everyone's help. I didn't want even to talk to anybody about it. I was just so with myself. I didn't want to get other people be involved in this. It's just like, for example, I was living with my partner. He, of course, because he's living with me, he would get involved because I was around. But like, I didn't want other people to get involved in this. And maybe, like, as I said, after a week, I was like, no, I cannot do that by myself. I cannot find the way out of this by myself. I cannot turn on this light by myself. I do need help. I do need help from professional. I do need help from others. So that's why, especially when we talk about depression, there is a high chance that you may need help from this side, from other people. You do need a support from other people. For burnout as well, not an exclusion. So if you feel like you want to talk to the doctor, if you want to talk to the therapist or psychologist or to your coach, go and do that. Because sometimes we cannot deal with the problems by ourselves, but it's just a bit easier with the burnout, because your mind is more clear rather than when you're in a state of depression. When you're burnout, you can actually think about the stuff, you can actually work. But when you're feeling depressed, it's just like all the spheres of your life are kind of destroyed, and all the functions of your body as well, right? So that's why, if you need help from the professional from the side, please, there are lots of resources that you can use. They're not necessarily needs to be paid, so money is not always the case. There are lots of free resources, especially in Canada. There are lots of mental health support programs. So if you feel like you need help from others, or if you know somebody who may need a mental health support, go and share them with them. Don't force them, because this should be coming from the person inside, right? This person needs to understand by him or herself that he needs a help. He should have this desire inside of him or her. So that was kind of my story with the burnout, with depression, which I wanted to share with you, because I know lots of people experience this, especially nowadays when we live in this hustle grind environment. Hustle culture is so popular nowadays, and lots of people actually feel burnout, and lots of people actually feel depressed. So that's why I wanted to talk about that it happens, but at least right now, I hope with this video, as I shared my experience and some tips with you and the difference between burnout and depression, I hope it will help. But of course, if you need help from professionals, please do that. Thank you everyone for watching. I wish you never experienced feeling burnout and depressed, but if you do, so you can cope with everything, you can deal with everything, so everything would be great to remember. Sometimes it just takes time, right? So thank you again, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.